Konnichiwa.
Freddie's son, Burnsy's in Japan. Time for me to go and see what life's like in Japan. Freddie's son, Burnsy's in Japan. So come on, let's go see what Burnsy's up to in Japan.
Burnsy, got notes today. I see you've got headphones and you've got notes.
Mate, I'm taking it serious, eh? Like, you know, got good feedback. I just, I'm trying to keep notes of all the stuff, mate, because so much stuff's happening out here now. I'm just trying to keep track of it all. So, photo albums, notes, just trying to make this the best I can, mate.
Feedback. Tell me what feedback, as in not feedback through the headphones, as in feedback from the masses, the millions out there.
Mate, I tell you what, everyone loves Bob. Bob's gone down.
Yes.
Interesting fact, actually. Obviously, Bob's not his Japanese, his given Japanese name. I found out the other day that Bob actually stands for boss of bitches, which, mate, take it. He's incredibly camp, but yeah, that's what Bob stands for. So
boss of, so not boss baby, boss of beaches.
Boss of beaches. Beach is what he says.
What, as in beaches or as in dog?
As in female dogs.
Oh, okay. My word. Good on you, Bob. Before we get into talking about Bob, mate, this has been breaking news. It's on the front page of all the sports papers over here. You're signed for Leicester. Yes, mate. Yeah, well, it was on the front, and then Fitz come in, stole my thunder, didn't he? Signing for Bath. But no, mate. Yeah, so I'm happy to be coming back. It's one of those, Jim. It's nothing on anything out here. Like, I'm loving my time out here, having a great time. But you know, as well, you know, being in the sport, that it's a limited opportunity kind of sport, mate. And I feel like at 30, to have the opportunity to go back to Leicester and play and have one more crack at the Premiership for a few more years, is something that I couldn't turn down, because if I stayed out here for another year or two, I can't see many Premiership teams wanting to pick up a 32, 33-year-old player who's been out here in Japan. So I'm going to come back, mate, give it a crack for at least another 2 years, see what happens, and then I'd love to come back out here and play, mate. I've had a great time, and I'm really enjoying the experience. Well, the recruitment process for Leicester is really interesting now. And as you know, Leicester was my first club. I was there for 7 or 8 years. So they're now working out how they can get the best out of their recruitment, because their recruitment's been shit over the last few years. And they've gone down this Moneyball stats-based model. Have you heard about that or not? I have, mate. Yeah, obviously, I had a phone call from Steve Borthwick to start with, just asking if it was something that I'd be interested in terms of coming back to Leicester and playing. And I said, yeah, because, you know, we've had many conversations about how much I love my time at Leicester and stuff like that. And then the next meeting after that was the kind of Moneyball stats sort of meeting over Zoom, which took me, I thought it was just going to be another catch-up. But to have that kind of on Zoom, and yeah, mate. What did he say? What did he say then? Without blowing smoke up your own trombone, what was the outcome of the Moneyball situation? So let's just talk about what Moneyball means. There was a famous movie made about Moneyball in baseball, where they're trying to find the best players statistically for not as much money. So before we do that, before you give your humble statement, I actually got in contact with Leicester for a statement and said, what does it mean with Freddie Burns and this Moneyball thing? I got one line back: cheap. Yeah, mate. Yeah, pretty much. But you came out on top. You came out on top in terms of the Moneyball stats of world tens, that your stats were the best, apparently. And I've not looked into it. Is this true or not? Hang on. I don't get where this is the second conversation I've had about this Moneyball thing, and everyone's coming out saying that I was at the top, mate. I was nowhere near the top. I was just closer to the top than I thought I was going to be. All right, I am not in the same bracket as some of the boys in the top, but let's just say it was nice to hear, mate. You know, obviously I didn't play much at Bath and all that, and then I'm out here in Japan. You can sort of have that feeling of, I'm sort of winding down, a little bit forgotten, and then suddenly these stats sort of come out, and
Mate, yeah, it was nice to hear, and it's just the way they're going about their business. So it's definitely it's just nice to hear as a player. You always want to hear what your value is, and you know as a player, I play sort of X amount of games. You know if you win the majority, lose the majority. But then when they're given as stats, it's just quite an interesting way to go about business. So,
well, big congratulations then, Fred. The Montpellier Monster will now be the Market Harbour Monster.
No, mate. That name will never leave me, I don't reckon.
I don't think it ever will. But let's talk about bullet trains. You went to Hiroshima, which, as we know, is very famous, not for the best reasons, but it's where the atomic bomb was, and there's a load of memorials there. First, let's talk about the bullet train. Is it as fast as it sounds, or is?
That is unbelievable. I think it's, I'm at risk of sounding a gross exaggeration, I think it's like 320 kilometers an hour it goes, or something like that. You fly along on it. And I actually used it back in the pre-season. We were on a camp when we were in Bethu, and you cover, when you actually look at the map at how far you cover in such a little time, it is unbelievable. But yeah, we had a game. We played, I got to get the names right because they're all the same at the minute. We played Mazda Blue Lumas down in Hiroshima, and yeah, so we're actually not meant to go out. We were told you're allowed to go to the convenience store, but that's about it. But
because
when I got there,
because of COVID.
Yeah. But when I got there, obviously you know that the whole sort of atomic bomb area and the peace gardens and stuff like that is all outside. So I thought, you know what, like it was a 10-minute walk from the hotel. So I was like, I'm going to walk, have a little look around, mate. And what a place! Like on a serious note, it's if you ever go to like your ground zeros and places like that, it's just an incredibly like powerful place that you just can't imagine that people were there. What was it? Back, what must be a while now, 80 years ago, 70, 80 years ago, whenever it was. And people would just be doing their everyday business and boom, like 100,000, 150,000 people dead in an instant. And actually the building that is still kind of half standing, it stands because the bomb was detonated right above it. So the force of it actually went down. And yeah, so that's why the building's still there. The rest of it just turned it into a whole, just a wasteland. So, mate, it was amazingly powerful place to go. And I was glad I visited it. But yeah, it was the bullet train down, which strangely enough over here, mate, you have to wear your club suit to travel to games. So, mate, but boiling hot. So we got finished training, got back. Bearing in mind, I was 92.8. I don't know if you know, Jim, but I've lost a bit of weight, mate. But I was 92.8 kilograms when I had the suit measured. I'm currently weighing in at 85.5, right? So I'm there 10 minutes before I leave the house with a knife, making another hole in my belt so my trousers stay up, right? Bearing in mind these flared trousers. And then all the boys, we go and meet. It's a black pinstripe suit. And we meet at in Korea. Oh, no, sorry, here's the thing, right? Mate, you just got to meet at Nagoya Station. Nagoya Station is a 25-minute train from here. But there's no, bus from the training ground here. It's literally, we'll see you at Nagoya Station. If you don't get on the train at the time, you miss the bullet train, they go, mate. It's just gone.
It won't wait.
But, mate, don't wait. It's like renowned for being on time, never late.
Efficient.
So anyway, we're all on there. Efficient. But we got on there, mate. And I'm there. I actually, because I'm on this little health kick, made myself a little packed lunch, mate. And the boys are there with their rice balls and their egg sandwiches and all that sort of stuff, mate. And here's one thing I don't get here, Jim. Fully grown men are obsessed with that anime thing. You know, like anime, like the...
Ganja, not ganja. What's it called? Manga.
I don't know. You know, it's like the cartoon thing.
Yeah, Magna, yeah. Is it Magna or ganja? So, what's it called?
Anime. I think that's what it's called. But basically, yeah, like all these fully grown blokes are there in their suits, looking like businessmen, watching cartoons, mate. I look to my left, and there's Bob. Bob has pulled his mask up over his eyes and his face, and he's sound asleep, mate. And I just let him be. But no, the bullet train, mate. What a piece of machinery, eh?
Tell me about the game. So Mazda Blue Lumas.
Yeah.
Sound good. Sound a good team,
yeah,
because they're called Mazda, but you absolutely smoked them, didn't you?
since we last caught up, we played a few games. Obviously, we played Coca-Cola before the big game, and we beat them quite convincingly. It was a terrible game. Referee, I think we gave away 35 penalties in the second half, mate. Over here, right, the games are like Saturday League games with the referees, okay? So we'll play, and if you get off to a good start and start winning, the referees will start evening it up, mate. And they start giving penalties for nothing. But yeah, mate, I rocked up to this place, right? So they had the 4 games there. They had Qden played Qden before us. So I actually rocked up, thought I'd watch because supporters were allowed in the stadium, and saw my good mate Lockie McCaffrey playing for Qden. They won. And then I thought
it was at the Brumbies. The Brumbies.
No, he's at Qden. Qden Voltex, whatever they're called over here.
The people just pop up in all different places.
Mate, he is in that team. He's obviously a number 8 back row. He was playing 8, 10, 12. He was passing. Mate, I watched him. First thing I seen him do, grubber through, run through, tackle, turnover. Happy days, mate. Like, he was on fire. But anyway, I went to my changing room afterwards, mate. I had to get changed at a whiteboard. I had a table in front of a whiteboard. That was my changing space. Nowhere to hang my kit, nothing. Just a whiteboard with just some Japanese writing on it, and just that was it, mate. So I'm getting used to like some pretty fruity dressing rooms, mate, and just trying to make the most of it. But yeah, we won the game. That was it. Straight back on the Shinkansen, straight home. Bottle of red. Thank you very much.
So what happens then after the game? So if you win the game, obviously now you can't go out, or can you go out? I mean, where are we now with the restrictions and stuff? So you smash Mazda, the Lumas, the bullet train. You come home, you have a few beers on the train, then head out. Like, how does that look?
No, we're not allowed out. Actually, a few boys got technically dobbed in today. They went to a food court and had a bit of food. They went to a mall that you're allowed to walk around, and they stopped and had some food in the food court. And one of the company workers at Toyota dobbed them in. And unfortunately, one of the boys had broken his arm. And they said, we don't know who they were, but they were foreign, and one of them had a broken arm. So so we couldn't even lie that we weren't even there. But yeah, we're allowed a few beers, and then suddenly, obviously, the message goes out, kind of, look, you're not allowed to buy beers on the Shinkansen because you're representing Toyota, but if you want to pick some up, at the shop, you can. So I picked up a bottle of red. Boys picked up a few beers. But here's the thing, right? They're so hard on the foreign boys. Foreign boys behave, not too many beers, this and that. The Japanese lads, mate, they have one beer, Jim. They are bright red. They are redder than the circle in their flag, mate. They go bright red and are so
obviously their skin?
Their face, mate. Their face, their skin. They're like alcoholics, mate. You know, when alcoholic drinks, you get red face. They're like that. And yet we're the ones, we cop the flat, the foreigners.
Well, the games seem pretty easy at the minute, but the weekend before you went to Osaka, didn't you, to play against the Shimizu Blue Sharks? They sound good as well. How did that go down?
Well, mate, they just literally saw a tweet yesterday that they're now ceasing to exist or something because of money laundering issues. So,
I mean, what drama! I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm loving it. What's happened?
It's like an episode of EastEnders out here, mate. It's unbelievable. No, so basically, yeah, went down, played them effectively what was the semi-final. Beautiful stadium down in Osaka, mate. So yeah, we won. Jesus, what was the score? 81-21 against them. So they actually, Luke McAllister plays for them. He didn't play at the weekend, but that's the team that Luke McAllister's at.
Is he still going? Is he?
Mate, still going, mate. So he was meant to play, but he pulled out before the game. So mate, yeah. So that was technically what was the semi-final of the Challenge League. So we did that, and then we watched the Kintetsu game, which is the team we'll play next week, which is Quay Cooper, Will Genya. So,
well, forget about them for now, because don't skip over the fact that you beat my record of 3 tries against India. You scored 4, did you?
Mate, I got 4, Jim.
This is the Moneyball thing. So this goes back to it. So after this game, Steve's looked through the Moneyball. He's looking at your stats in Japan, and he's like, 4 tries, cheap. Let's get this lad in. Let's get him in.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure whether these games count towards the Moneyball stats, mate, to be honest. But yeah, mate, no, it's a record for me. So I think I scored 36 points, 4 tries. And then, yeah, got the music on in the changing rooms, tried to get the music going on the bus. A few foreign boys had a few beers. The Japanese boys didn't have a clue what was happening. But yeah, it was all good fun.
So, Burnsley, we've spoken about some of the culture differences. They get it right there. Arguably, we get it wrong. I want to talk about the Japanese food. We've touched on it, but the pre-game, the breakfast, is it a bowl of porridge with some raisins, a bit of almond, peanut butter, lovely, a bit of honey on top?
Couldn't be any more different. And the other thing I've really, I said about the fact they play 2 games. So normally two games will go on in the same day. So there's an early kickoff. There's an 11:30 kickoff and a 2 o'clock kickoff. And we were the 11:30 kickoff. So breakfast is at like 6. And, don't get me wrong. I've seen a tweet about Wayne Rooney complaining about having pasta at whatever time in the morning. And they're getting hammered saying, the money he's getting paid, they'd eat whatever. But, mate, miso soup and like grilled fish at 6 a.m. is a tough ask, mate. So I managed to get some scrambled eggs and a bit of ham. And I sat down and...
Are they chicken eggs? Are they chicken eggs, though, or not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're chicken eggs, yeah. Well, mate, they're scrambled. Either way, they're scrambled.
They look like eggs.
Mate, they look like eggs. They do these little sausages, mate. They look like monkey's fingers, mate. And they probably taste just as good. They are terrible.
They could be German.
Probably. So I just had I had eggs. I just had some ham and eggs. I managed to find some ham and eggs, right? Sat down, and I'm the weirdo. They're all there with chopsticks. Oh, mate. Oh, Jim, sorry. While we're on food, I've got to tell you. It's polite over here to make noise, to like slurp when you're eating.
I know. I'm a quarter Chinese. So we used to go out for my food to Chinatown in Birmingham. And my Nan Papa, rest in peace, she passed away in November. We'd go out for food and she'd be at the table. I'm like, what's going on here? But apparently it's not normal, is it? Arguably even polite.
Yeah, it's a way of saying that like the food's good. So rather than going compliments to the chef when you finish, right? They're telling you straight up, mate. Like, and the worst thing is, I genuinely have that condition where someone making noise when they eat, literally, I can't handle it, Jim. I can't handle it.
Recommendations for food as well. So this is what happens. I've been lucky enough to travel around the world, and what you normally say to people, recommendations for coffee shops or restaurants, what you should go to. You want to try these lovely ribs or this burger place in New York, lovely off the unbeaten track. Are you getting recommendations of where to eat and what to eat and to try some of the local cuisine?
Yeah, a little bit, mate. Some of the boys out. There was like a sashimi restaurant we went to when we could go to restaurants before. That was good. But I actually had one the other day. I was in the gym. It was actually my day off, Jim. I'm going to the gym on my day off now because you can't do anything.
Leicester.
I'm just like, I've got to get out of the house, mate, get myself in nick. But I'm in there. The conditioning coach comes in with a couple of Japanese boys and I'm there playing Celine Dion or whatever I am, doing my weights.
Before you leave my life. Kurosawa!
Turn it down and start speaking to him about going back to England. And bear in mind, he speaks very bad English. And he goes, England sashimi? I said, yeah, like, London, nice restaurants, you can get it. And he goes, I said, what's your favorite food? And he goes, horse sashimi. And I was like, horse sashimi? He went, yes. No, like this. And then got the phone out.
Seahorse.
No, mate, I'm thinking this is one of those things that gets lost in translation. Like over here, like tuna is called sea chicken, right? So I'm thinking, mate, horse has got to be horse. It's pork. He's trying to say pork. I think he's getting lost in translation. Mate, he Googles the animal and he shows me a picture of a horse, and I'm like, you have raw horse, and he's like, yes, my favorite. And I'm like, there's something supermarkets in the UK getting shut down when there's horse meat found in the burgers, mate.
Well, Fred,
over here, they're smashing it in. Now, I did get offered chicken sashimi a few months ago, which I politely declined because, like, raw chicken, just the texture and stuff. I don't care how fresh they say it is and how they say it's not going to kill me. I'm not having raw chicken.
Freddie, when we spoke in the first couple of episodes, we were talking about the language barrier and being a kind of key decision maker as a fly half. And we know how key decision maker you are because Leicester have re-signed you. Hopefully not to sit behind George Ford, but actually to take that mantle and then go on to play for England, single-handedly beat the All Blacks. Let's see that again. But you've got leadership credentials, but you're taking more of a lead now. There's been a few issues with the captains going missing.
He's disappeared, mate. He literally was there 1 minute, he's gone the next, and all we know is that he's broken compliance. So the week before the Coca-Cola game, he's just not in. And everyone's like,
what's his name?
Shimo.
So Shimo,
everyone's like, where's Shimo? Where's Shimo? Gone. Nothing, gone. And then, but then the general manager comes in and says, lads, Shimo's broken compliance. He'll be away from the squad until his punishment is sorted, blah, blah, blah. But no one contact him. No one speak to him. So you can't even drop him a message and be like, mate, what's going on? Like everyone's been like radio silence. And here they follow everything so diligently, mate. So there's like certain compliance things over here. Like I take it back to when we had a pre-season camp and we got a session at 6 a.m. So we're leaving the hotel. So 15-minute walk from our hotel to where we were training that morning, doing a CrossFit session, right? 5:30 we leave. There's a group of 20 of us, okay? There's no cars on the road. It's pitch black. It's about -3, mate. It's freezing cold, right? It's not fun. We get to a road, just a normal road, Jim. Not like a motorway or a busy road, just a normal road. I look left, look right, across the road. I get halfway across the road, I turn back. There's 20-odd Japanese boys stood at the red light, mate. And I'm like, what? And the only word I could make out they were saying to me is compliance, compliance, compliance. So I had to turn around, go back across the empty road and wait for 2 minutes for the lights to go to red and the green man to come on so we could cross the road. Like, it is, Jim, it is bonkers. Like, a few of the things you got here. Right?
But that's, again, but Fred, that comes back to it. In most other countries, like America, you do the same. You can't do it. We're the bonkers ones. We're the one crossing roads, mate.
Right, okay, right. I'll rattle a few off, right? And you can tell me whether it's bonkers or not, right?
Okay. Do I put my cultured hat on or do I put my Cov hat on?
Let's just put on a normal hat, mate. Just what I just want your opinion on it would be great, okay? Right. So no hands in pockets when you walk so you can't put your hands in your pockets.
Where?
Just can't put your hands in your pockets if you're around the company place. Well, obviously, if I'm at home, I can put my hands in my pockets. But if you're out and you're representing the country, so if you're traveling on the Shinkansen, if you're walking around where the training ground, stuff like that, you can't put your hands in your pockets. And it might be snowing outside, mate, freezing cold. You get a frostbite on your fingers. You can't put your hands in your pockets. Bonkers or not?
Bonkers. But tell me why.
Okay.
Have you asked why or not?
Nah.
So compliance, so acceptance of compliance. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. Can't put your hands in your pockets. Hit me with another one.
Right, when you walk down the stairs, you have to use the handrails.
Even during COVID?
Yeah. So it just says use handrails, like when you're walking down.
Well, safety, I suppose. There's a safety element to that. Yeah,
like Jim, there's 45 blokes, right, in a rugby team trying to walk down the same set of stairs. And you've all got to hold the handrail. It's all a bit weird.
Bit weird, but I kind of get that one.
And here's a good one, mate. I know a few people spoke about, but so the company boys, this is a great rule, I reckon. If they get stitches, they get paid.
Okay, so let's just rewind. So if you get cut open in the game, or even if you've been glassed on a night out, and you get stitches.
If you get cut open in training, you get paid. I'm not sure whether it's per centimetre or per stitch or whatever, but you get paid. You get paid, mate.
Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming.
Mate, these Japanese boys, I wonder why whenever you do contact over here, they fly in. I reckon it's because they want a bit of extra. And you're not talking. They're not slipping you. They're not slipping you £2.50, Jim. I think it's like a decent. It's like a few £100, mate.
And why is that then? Is that because they feel like they've taken a part of your soul by you losing a bit of blood on the time of the company?
Mate, I have absolutely no idea. But it doesn't work for us foreign boys. Don't get it. You get cut open. Crack on, boys. But the Japanese boys, they're all good. So, mate, it's you don't see boys happier to get stitches. To get split open, they're like, yeah, come on.
Say who's your Budgy Buddy? I said who's your Budgy Buddy?
Freddie, before we go, and it's been great chatting again, obviously, we're going to talk about the Budgy Buddy of the week. Who have you gone for?
It's a tough one. There's been a few boys, but I'm actually going to give it to our winger. His name's Go. It's spelled Go, but everyone calls him Go. And man, I honestly reckon he's Budgy Buddy of the week because the first day, right? I actually didn't realise this, but I couldn't find my water bottle on the first day. I couldn't find it, and there's one Japanese bloke laughing at me, and it was him. And I've not forgotten it. But he's actually become quite a good mate. He can't speak English, but he's become quite a good mate, and he's a hell of a player. He's one of the few Japanese boys that I actually think could go and play a pretty decent standard in Europe. Mate, unbelievable, but a good guy. Bit of a prankster as well, so I do enjoy it. And the only thing he says to me at training is "beer, please." That's it. That's all he says.
Well, for a man who says beer, please, and who's called Go, well, there'll be some Freddie San custom-made Budgie smugglers on the way to you, big fella. I don't know how long they'll take in transit, but it will be worth the wait.
There will be.
Freddie San.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Konnichiwa. Freddie's son, Burnsy's in Japan. Time for me to go and see what life's like in Japan. Freddie's son, Burnsy's in Japan. So come on, let's go see what Burnsy's up to in Japan.